Hey folks, this is Jake Davis bringing you a top 5 video today. This will be one of many top 5 videos I'll probably end up doing over the last few weeks, God forbid weeks, while we're waiting for all this nonsense to pass over. Apocalypse 2020. I still think my favorite apocalypse was the 2000 apocalypse. But the problem is with apocalypse, just like Hell in a Cell or Avengers movies, you just too many of them get oversaturated, and they just don't feel as special anymore after a while. Anyhow, today I'm going to run down my top 5 personal picks of the best horror films of the 1980s. This is actually a video I wanted to do back in October during my big, I wanted to do like a big horror fest. I did a shitload of videos about horror movies. And I didn't get time to work this one in. I always wanted to come back to it, and I actually started working on this video a few weeks ago. I didn't fuck around, man. I went on good things to good old box office mojo. I went year by year, 1980 to 1989, and I cataloged every fucking horror movie that I saw in those 10 years, and I narrowed them down. I narrowed them down on various reasons. And I'll probably be doing a couple more videos similar to that fashion over the next few weeks. God help us. Oh, and also, because I'm going with theatrically released films in the United States. So, there won't be stuff like Killer Clowns or Return to Salem's Lot, which are really, really wild movies, both of them. And also, I also want to point out that I'm really leaning into true blue horror here. So my list isn't going to have horror comedies like An American Werewolf in London, which is a masterpiece, nor is it going to have horror action like, say, Aliens or The Terminator or Predator. And I guess some people don't even consider The Terminator a horror movie. But that first Terminator movie is a horror movie. Yeah, that's sci-fi horror. The sequels, no, not at all. But that first one, that passes as a horror movie. I think the fucking first original Gremlins is a passable horror movie. Anyhow, let's get into it. Number 5, Child's Play. I kind of even surprised myself this one. One of my favorite things about discovering YouTube film culture is finding out I wasn't alone in my love for Child's Play over the years. I always kind of felt the general consensus was people thought Chucky was kind of silly. It's just a doll chopping up people. But also there's something genuinely unsettling and something so brilliant about that first movie. Tom Holland does a great job. I mean, until I got to doing this list, I kind of had in my mind, I guess, that Fright Night was my preferred one between his two films. Mainly because it was like the first horror movie, R-rated horror movie I ever got to see as a kid, and it was a moment. But yeah, Child's Play is so great, and for numerous reasons. Not just for Brad Dourif's terrific performance, and it's just a vocal performance for early in the film too. The desperation and the madness, and he's whimpering and whining and dying and shit like. But you don't feel sorry for this guy because it's just so visually unsettling. This is the bad guy, and he's, like I said, and yes, that voice performance is so great. And there is the effects. The animatronic effects hold up so well. I mean, it's not all animatronic, but I mean, even the shots of actors, dwarves, and children in masks and in shadows and stuff like that still was so much cooler to me than the CG shit that we got in the remake from last year. Mainly because it does it's the triggering of seeing a cartoon doesn't cause the same unsettlement of saying something that isn't right, like an actor in a suit. I mean, there's something about that loss of it's not real, but knowing that none of it's real, that there's nothing there really, you lose that creepiness, in my opinion. And while I was researching a couple of these movies, oh man, fucking Google kept trying to suggest, you sure you don't mean the 2019 film Child's Play? Yes, I'm sure, motherfucker, and I'm sure. I'm not fucking around with that movie again. I'm done with it. I think people are too easy on that goddamn movie. The movie sucked. Anyhow, Oh, and by the way, just real quick before I move on, great performance from Catherine Hicks. Also, excellent performance from her as Karen Bartley, and wonderful photography. Some of the best, maybe the best looking horror film of the 1980s. It's almost the way he uses the snow and the shadow. It really almost looked like it's in black and white. And the most impressive visual effect of that whole film is Chris Sarandon's hair. I mean, he blows up, gets struck by lightning, he gets in a car crash, gets head bashing with a fucking baseball bat. That hair remains perfect. That's amazing movie hair, man. Got credit to him. Number 4, Pumpkinhead. Pumpkinhead was the one and only film directed by master creature creator, Stan Winston. I mean, Stan Winston created everything. Pumpkinhead, the Xenomorphs, Predator, Terminator, the Penguin. Anything, anything Stan Winston didn't do, Rick Baker did in that era. And Pumpkinhead's whole concept. Oh, by the way, oh shit, man, Child's Play. Just assuming you saw Child's Play is a story of a serial killer in his dying moments uses a voodoo ritual to transfer his body, his soul into a doll. The doll then terrorizes the family that it ends up with, and you know it's really creepy. It's a slow burn. It has a lovely relationship between the mother and her son. It's a really good fucking movie. See Child's Play if you've never seen it, even though I'm sure you have. It's turns out it's a really beloved movie. Pumpkinhead. Back to Pumpkinhead. Pumpkinhead. The story is the Pumpkinhead creature is a creature that, when you've been really, really wronged, you can go out to the woods and dig up Pumpkinhead and send him on a path of vengeance to destroy the people who did you wrong. And they will all die. There's no way to stop Pumpkinhead. He will kill all of them. He will kill anyone who helps him. Southern Gothicness is just great to me, and the fact that this old Southern witch's tale that everyone believes in. There's no doubters up in the hills. They all fucking know Pumpkinhead is real and not to fuck with it. Amazing creature effects from what's his face, Stan Winston. It just incredible effects and grisly horror. Violence, and the whole story. I mean, what sets it off is a man, Lance Hendrickson, who is a great horror actor, anyways. And this is, I believe, like one of his few lead roles as an actor. He's a shopkeeper, he's a widower, and his small son is killed by some tourists accidentally, and when they accidentally hit him with a motorcycle. And in the middle of nowhere, can't get him to help or anything like that in time, and the little boy dies. And it's just so heartbreaking. I mean, watch before any of the terror or any of the horror starts. That movie is going to rip your heart out emotionally. It is not just a terrific horror movie, but it is a gripping drama. It is an amazing movie. I love Pumpkinhead. I've always loved Pumpkinhead. And unlike a lot of the other films on this list, of the films, because of its emotional impact, it's not the kind of film that you just want to watch all the time, despite its great creature effects and great gore. Third place, I'm going with The Funhouse. I've always loved The Funhouse, Tobe Hooper's 1981 film starring Kevin Conroy and Elizabeth Berridge. The whole premise is a bunch of youths go to a carnival. They're hanging out at the carnival, getting high, fucking around, grab assing, and doing young people thing and shit. And they decide to hide out in one of the rides overnight to just fuck around, do some more drugs, and do some fucking. While they're there, they witness one of the circus attendants, who is just a fucking freak, murder a woman because she he pulls a trick with her. And he's done before he's out. He's in out, but he doesn't go in. You know what I mean? And she won't refund him, so he kills the bitch. And they see this, And the whole film is him trying to escape the funhouse, which they're trapped in, while this killer, while this foreign monster in a Frankenstein mask, and the Barker are hunting them down. Like the other two films I've mentioned, both with Child's Play and Pumpkinhead. All three of these films so far have been, and this isn't the last of them either like this. I liked the slow burns. Develop characters, understand why we're here, why we should care about them, and then throw them into a world of madness. My favorite kind of horror approach. Number two, The Thing. The exact same thing, The Thing is John Carpenter's masterpiece. Kurt Russell, Wilford Brimley, about Keith David, about maybe 8 or 9 other guys are in a post in the Antarctic. Is it the Antarctic or is it the North Pole? Oh, I think it's the Antarctic. And some strangers come by, a strange dog, and turns out it's an alien creature. It's assimilating them. It takes them over like pod people shit. And it's a situation where we have these capable, intelligent men who are on a job where they are dependent to just survive the job they're doing before you throw in the monster shit, just to survive. But now they can't trust each other anymore. They gotta throw that all out the fucking window. And what amazing performances by Kurt Russell and Wilford Brimley. A terrific score. This is a film I almost didn't want to include on this list because it's so just goddamn legitimately good. It's almost too good to just be cataloged or genred as a horror film. This is a fine fucking movie. This was one of the best films of 1982 and was genuinely an Oscar snub in many, many categories. Mostly, I would say adapted screenplay, and oh, fuck yes, with best makeup. Where was the Oscar nomination for that makeup effects in that film? It's an amazing movie. It's a great movie. And I'll never forget the memory of the first time I saw it. My sister was like staying with my aunt and her daughter, and my cousin was staying with me and my dad, so we went by the video store, and we rented 2 movies. Neither one of them I'd seen before. I'd seen Predator 2, but I hadn't seen Predator. And we got Predator and we got Thing, and since it's going to be a guy's night, a macho night, we were stoked for it, because Predator only has 1 woman, and The Thing has fucking none. I love The Thing. It's a great movie. It's a great horror movie. Which brings me to my number 1. And I was kind of on the fence about this, but my number 1 is still Stuart Gordon's Reanimator. Stuart Gordon, who passed away, I believe, just a few days away. God rest your soul. Stuart Gordon is a story based on H.P. Lovecraft's story of Herbert West and Dan Kane are doctors, are med students, and they start bringing cadavers back from the dead because they fucking can. It's great. It has dark humor, but it is no way a comedy. At least not on the level of films like Evil Dead 2 and, like I said, Werewolf in London. The great performance from fucking, oh my god, Jeffrey Combs is amazing in this movie. A great performance from one of the great scream queens of the 80s, Barbara Crampton. And again, a score, it's not even an original score, it's almost just like a complete adaptation of Elmer Bernstein. I always do this. Since I was a kid, I've gotten Elmer Bernstein and Bernard Herrmann mixed up. But it was one of them. One of them did Psycho, one of them did Citizen Kane. Oh shit, or Matt Schneider. No, Schneider didn't do Citizen Kane. Nah. Anyhow. It's a great movie with some dark humor, some grisly shit, and it's just so stylized, so impactful. Now, I recently, within the last year, found out that the R-rated cut with the character development and fleshing out of the story and motivations and shit was the DVD release. It was a home video release. Home DVD. The movie came out like 12, 13 years before DVDs existed. But, yeah, you know what I mean. The non-rated theatrical cut was the cut that did not include Dr. Carl Hill's motivations and intentions towards the girl. That did not show Herbert West's drug addiction to the reurgent. Oh, it's so gross. It's freaky wild shit that made the film richer, and it got cut. I mean, it didn't get cut for. Clearly, didn't get cut for the sake of theatrical release. So was it cut for the sake of time? Were these like literally 3 or 4 minutes more of screen time that actually make your film better would have hindered a theatrical run? That's the thing. You gotta think about that. What kind of things? Maybe it would have. Maybe a horror film that leaned a little closer to 100 minutes to a 90-minute film would be a little more of a risk in these theaters. But I don't know. I think it was at the it was at the detriment of the film. And I still to this day, and I've always said, where the fuck is the supercut? The whole movie. Just show it. Just release it like that, man. I'm fine with the gore. I can handle it. I mean, it's not like it's one of the reasons I like horror movies. But some honorable mentions. First talk about Stephen King films. I know I didn't say The Shining. I expressed my disdain for The Shining. If you want to see a better Stephen King film, my favorite Stephen King horror adaptation of the 80s is Cujo. It doesn't suffer from, again, artsy, doesn't lose story from artsy bullshit like Kubrick did with The Shining, and it also isn't bogged down from terrible acting in the lead role like with Christine, John Carpenter's Christine, which is has some shitty acting, but it's got some good stuff going for it. But Keith Gordon, whoa, he is bad in that, and he's the star of the movie. Nightmare on Elm Street is clearly a great movie. The whole slasher era, come on, man. I love that shit. I could watch a slasher anytime, any fucking day. I don't care. Sit down, put in a Jason movie, put in an Elm Street movie, Halloween, I don't give a shit. I'm down for them. Hellraiser is great, and I highly considered putting Hellraiser on this list. But at the same time, it's been so long since I have seen it. I don't know if it would have just felt more like nostalgia mixed with other people's opinions. It's something I need to revisit again. Hellraiser. I almost rewatched. I was going to rewatch it about a year ago, and I just didn't get around to it. Yes, baby?
And a chipmunk song.
Say hi.
Hi, and it's not an Alvin and a Chipmunk song.
I'll be there in a minute. I'll be there in just a minute, okay? We'll listen to some Alvin and the Chipmunks. Can you shut my door?
Okay.
Love kids. I'm almost done.
Fisher.
Fisher. Okay, yeah, I guess that's my list. What do you think of, what's your favorite 80s horror movie? Did I miss your favorite? Did you think this was surprising? Did I talk you into seeing Funhouse? Funhouse is right up my alley as far as, prestige. Well, I don't like prestigious horror movies. Like, we see a movie you hear, somebody tells you this horror film won an Oscar. I'm like, ooh, really? How much of a horror movie is it then? But then you tell me, hey, this movie was directed by Tobe Hooper and gets a 5.6 on IMDb. I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, let's watch that. Anyhow, that's my list. That's my top thing about horror movies. Guess who's distracting me? I'm going to do some more of these. I'm Jake Davis, and I'll catch you on the fly.